When her daughter died, she opened her bag and found something surprising. Parents of a nursing student killed in a hit-and-run by a drunk driver have pledged to help a lady who had her heart transplanted to achieve her daughter's bucket list. Unlike other events that elicit emotional responses, losing a loved one is an experience that doesn't follow a linear path. Those feelings are felt and dealt with once we've gone through them, and we rarely experience them as deeply or internally as we did before. There's no established procedure for dealing with grief. We can get so lost and irritated at times. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be inspired by these real-life stories on a daily basis. Now, let's return to the story. We're glad for the time we spent with our loved ones at other times. Then, in an instant, we can be enraged and bitter because they've abandoned us to face the consequences of no longer having them by our side. Grief causes us to experience emotions that no other event in life can match. And because loss is so ultimate, it seems terrible that we should have to suffer so much in the aftermath. Humans are social beings to their core. If you don't believe me, try living alone and not leaving your apartment for weeks or months, like some of us are doing during the pandemic. Our mental health depends on our ability to maintain social connections. The people we care about are the most important links in our lives. We lose a portion of our support system and a piece of our lives when they abruptly vanish. Before she died, Christina Chesterman never got close to crossing even a few items off her bucket list. She was 21 when she was struck by a drunk motorist who then fled as she rode her bike home following a hard day of studying with fellow nursing students. However, just after her death in September, her wish to save someone's life was granted several times. They vowed to finish it by checking off the tasks she hadn't been able to accomplish. Volunteers from all across the world have offered their assistance, including the woman who received Miss Chesterman's heart as an organ donor. Miss Chesterman stated, "I think Christina knew she was going to have a short life on some respects. She was always hurrying around, and 3 weeks before she died, she contacted me out of nowhere to express her pride in me. We were completely unaware that she had ever made a bucket list." Chesterman said she still battles with immense pain after one of the items intended to save a life. She admitted that there are still days when she doesn't want to get out of bed because it's so difficult. Meeting with Vieira and others who have benefited from Christina's assistance has helped her get through the ordeal. Christina intended to serve Doctors Without Borders and other nonprofit and non-governmental groups after she graduated from college with a nursing degree. She stated, "I wanted to experience the world through Christina's eyes. That's how I've felt since losing her. I want to see the good in everyone and save my life in the same way she did." Christina's bucket list needs to be in 4 places at the same time. Learn to play chess in Venice, beat someone in chess, and save someone's life. Own 2 parcels of land, one of which has livestock, and run or own her own company. Get married, start a family, and learn to fly. Visit 4 of the world's 7 wonders, travel first class on an aircraft, and see all 50 states. Take a hot air balloon ride, go parachuting, skydiving, or camel riding. All of the contents can be visited. You'll be known as the Smiley Girl. Break up a quarrel between 2 males who are arguing about me. Be a part of a homecoming court. Tour Niagara Falls and run through a poppy field. Drive Route 66 and see the Smithsonian. Though she didn't accomplish it through nursing, she did it through organ donation. She was a truly remarkable person, and her legacy will go on in perpetuity. We had no idea she was going to pass away. On September 20th, 2013, Miss Chesterman, a Chico State University student, was cycling home from the library when Hoover plowed into her, dragging her 120 feet before fleeing the scene. Miss Chesterman was on life support at the neighboring Enloe Medical Center when he was apprehended at his residence later in the evening. Doctors had advised her parents to make the 3-hour trip to Miss Chesterman's bedside as soon as possible. We had no idea what we were going to find, so it was a big, long, sad summer journey, said Miss Chesterman, a stay-at-home mother. We suspected something was wrong when the critical care unit staff informed us she might not look like herself, but we never expected her to die. She had blood around her eyes and ears when we first saw her, but she appeared calm as if she was sleeping. Miss Chesterman was stable enough for doctors to undertake tests to see if she had any brain activity after 2 days. Her bereaved family began piecing together the circumstances that led to her being rushed to the hospital and battling for her life. Miss Chesterman stated that she was cycling across a bridge when she was struck. She was so near to her apartment block that she could see it. A driver had passed by and seen papers strewn across the road. He came to a halt to investigate and discovered Christina's body. He dialed 911 while two homeless guys sat with Christina, holding her and assuring her that everything would be well and that she should go to God. It makes me feel better to know she wasn't alone. Miss Chesterman was pronounced dead on September 24th after doctors discovered no trace of brain activity. The toughest thing I've ever had to do was say my final goodbye. She was kept alive artificially for 2 more days on a ventilator, while organ recipients were sought. Her hospital room was a revolving door of relatives and friends coming to say goodbye for those 2 days. We were welcomed into strangers' homes, where we were fed and given a place to shower and sleep, Miss Chesterman said. Those thoughtful acts demonstrated how much love exists among strangers. The toughest thing I've ever had to do was say my final goodbye. I didn't want to let go of her one last time. Miss Chesterman's kidney was donated to a family friend who was in desperate need of a transplant. Then, over the course of the next few months, Mr. and Mrs. Chesterman set out to find other strangers whose lives had been saved by their daughter. Her pancreas and kidneys were transplanted into a diabetic guy who was 42 years old. Her liver had been shared by a 9-month-old baby. Miss Chesterman is still in touch with a 66-year-old man who doesn't speak English but has learned to say thank you and I love you to her. Finally, her heart was given to Susan Vieira, a woman with congestive heart failure who was contacted by the Chesterman family after a local news station broadcast a report about the bucket list they'd discovered by piecing together the limited data she'd been provided about her donor, such as her age, gender, and the manner in which she died. Miss Chesterman explained that she'd deduced that it could be Christina. Susan pledged to assist Christina cross off any tasks on her bucket list that she was well enough to undertake, according to the Transplant Network. Another incredible coincidence is that Susan used to work as a nurse at the same hospital where Christina interned and was motivated to become a nurse. There were so many factors that brought them together. Susan seemed to have been handpicked by Christina. Over the course of our lives, we'll cross off our bucket list as a family. It also had a few other things on it. Go skydiving, explore every continent, drive Route 66, and most poignantly, be remembered as the Smiley Girl. Volunteers from all over the world came forward to offer their assistance when Miss Chesterman posted the list on Facebook shortly after discovering it. While one woman went skydiving, another offered to drive Route 66 with Miss Chesterman's portrait in the passenger seat. As word of her tale spread around the world, additional people stepped forward, posting photos of themselves posing with Miss Chesterman's portrait at various places, assisting her in realizing her ambition of touring the world. For their late daughter, Mr. and Mrs. Chesterman traveled in a hot air balloon, flew on an aircraft, and visited Niagara Falls. They ticked off one of the more unusual tasks by running across a poppy field with Miss Vieira to reenact a scene from The Wizard of Oz. We can't accomplish some of the items on Christina's list for her, such as break up a fight between two guys over her, but the remainder will be accomplished as a family throughout the course of our lives. They're also honoring their daughter's legacy by creating the Christina Chesterman Medical Clinic in Nigeria, in addition to completing her bucket list. They've also established a memorial foundation which awards a $5,000 scholarship each year to the California State University nursing student who most closely resembles Christina. They've raised enough money so far to keep the foundation going for the next 30 years. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone else who might enjoy it as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.